What's up, you guys, and good morning. Sweet Maya. It's Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock. Routines on Saturday mornings very different than the normal weekday routine. And this morning I decided I'd turn the camera on. First, coffee on the front porch. Good morning, Sweet Maya.
Good morning.
Hey Ezra, what's up?
Nothing, I'm the first one up in the morning. These 2 words.
What are what 2 words? Oh, okay, it's cursive. It says, sow kindness, reap beauty.
What's reap mean?
Kind of like harvest.
And what's sow mean?
Like you sow seeds, you plant.
Oh.
That was one of our first shirts we had.
Yep. Over here there's one made in 2014.
Yep, that's when we started our first farm.
Is that your first shirt?
No, that's just our logo. That's a pretty cool blanket hat.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one where it's a tomato and it's like this. It's like something, and what I'm gonna put in my tomato. So I'm like trying to find that, but I don't think it's on here.
We have tomatoes are better than dinner right there.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
There's our original, one of our first shirts, squad goals.
Yeah, and I think this one's funny.
Yeah, store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment.
Grow your own.
Yeah. Good morning, Tobe.
Hello, good morning.
Did you sleep okay?
Mom, is this the first?
No, that's not the first shirt. That's just the best shirt. This is the one that's everybody's favorite. That was the first time we released that shirt. Was on that green and then like a tan. It's been in a lot of colors now.
It's pink. Pink is probably the most favorite.
You think pink is your most favorite?
I think pink is probably the most popular.
I don't know. The greens, I think, is what people like. And blues.
Oh, a lot of the people I see that come to like the conventions, they usually wear a lot of the pink ones.
You think?
I think we should make a Maya's My Homeboy
A Maya's My Homeboy shirt?
To go with the sticker.
Is your neck bothering you?
Yeah.
We'll go to the chiropractor soon.
And my left arm.
That is actually our very first shirt right there. That's the first merch we ever did.
Grow something lovely.
Yep. You want to hold it up where the camera can see? Nice.
Kelsey?
Yep, it was on a tank top.
I personally thought it was
I don't think there's one on this one
or
here.
this flower one.
This isn't every single one we've ever done. This is just like a lot of them. This was I think the second one we ever did right here. Miriam in the flower crown. My brother drew that. My brother drew that. All right, Saturday morning. This is what the living room is given to for Saturday.
It's not just glowing star.
All right, super exciting Saturday morning. I'm washing my linen. I got really into wearing linen. I've always really liked linen, but when I started having a lot of issues with my skin last year, I started to look at what I was wearing and realized how much synthetic fabrics I was actually wearing. Now I still do wear some synthetic fabrics, especially like thrifting and stuff. Sometimes things just are, but I would say I've converted the majority of my wardrobe over to either cotton or linen specifically. Things that are just more generally good for your skin. They breathe better. And they're not like plastic. So linen does require a little extra care, and I like to do laundry day on this when I know I'm gonna be home all day, because I have to like hang them on the line and then get them down, and then I usually like to iron them after that, and so it can kind of be ongoing throughout the day. I washed this load this morning and I'm about to go hang it out on the clothesline. Today's the perfect day for it. It's nice and sunny and warm, so this shouldn't take too terribly long, which is nice. Maya built me this awesome clothesline last year, and then we got a puppy right after. So Lulu's in the house right now. The kids just took her in, and typically I have to use my clothesline where I can hang stuff on it and not need to put Lulu out here. So we'll have to take her outside, out front for a potty break. Eventually she'll be a big girl, won't have to worry about that, but now we just gotta do what we gotta do. that should be dry before too long. I'll come back out, grab them. Sometimes I'll toss them in the dryer for just a little while. Today I'll probably just go ahead and iron them since I have time to, and hang them up ironed. Good morning, girly. Hey, ladies. What's up? Pretty girls. There's little Amos. Hey, babe. You about to bring the horses in?
Yeah, already dumped the chickens.
Come get your snackies. So Maya's been working with the horses and teaching them to come and get in the correct stall to have their food every day. Paisley's the toughest because she's still not really trained at all. She's been somewhat socialized, but she's also like, she was a wild Mustang, so these have caught on a little quicker. So what's your purpose for this? For those that don't know.
They, having been out in pasture and not really worked as much, need a tune-up essentially is what we would call it. And we're starting with a routine of getting in stalls, getting some feed, and we'll progress from that to round penning and brushing, and then saddling, then riding.
Yeah.
Over the next, let's say, 8 weeks. So this is like stage one, getting the, like right now, like the last 2 days they were out on the other side of the pasture. I came out this morning and they're right there by the round pen expecting their routine. So it's already improving on day 3. Getting them to go to the right stalls will probably take another couple of weeks. Like most everyone went to the right stall. I think Lady and Bosco flipped, but it's not that big of a deal. And then we're just going to sit here. I'll probably sit here with them for an hour and a half, and that's just really kind of asserting that they have to do what we want.
Yeah.
Like they have to just stand here and stand quietly, and then we'll let them out.
Well, I'll sit with you.
Cool. What are we shaking to?
Horsemanship.
Nice.
Alright, it's a little later in the day now. I got all my ironing done. Maya fed all the farm animals. I'm going to show y'all a couple things here. These lovely towels were sent in by a viewer named Trish. Thank you so much for these. Look how beautiful this is. There's poetry among the wildflowers. I like all of them. Like, these are adorable, but this one I really like. And I got the one for my friend Michael Ball. Take that over to him today. Since it's sitting here on the table, no affiliation, I just thought somebody might benefit from this. This book is one of the, I would say, like, most life-changing books I've ever read as far as like understanding some things. It's called The Body Keeps the Score: Brain, Mind, and Body and the Healing of Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk. This is written by one of the original doctors who worked with trauma patients after Vietnam, and it is just incredibly eye-opening. I bought this copy to give to somebody. I had a meeting today. I came in from sitting with the horses with Maya, and I met with our designer and business guy, for official title there, talking about some things that we're getting handled to launch our coffee roasting brand, so that's really exciting. Right now, Jackie's doing dishes. He's got headphones on, but Maya is getting ready to start the recipe for ice cream. I'm gonna run out while you're getting this started and harvest those tomatoes that are out there, because I have a lot. Look at this one. This is my first big one I harvested. However, I harvested it because I hit it with a dirty shovel and split it, so I brought it inside. For us, Saturdays are not really days to conquer. We're not looking to try to get a ton of stuff done. Typically, we're not looking to like tackle any projects or anything. We do most projects and conquering during the week, except for, of course, like the occasional meeting like I had this morning. I do typically do more like writing and creative stuff on weekends. Obviously, homesteads don't take weekends off. If you've got animals, if you've got a garden, there's a certain measure of things you're just gonna have to do. There's a certain measure of work that even on your day off, you're still working. And for us, it's at least a few hours a day, even when we're not working, that we're going to work. But we love it, so it doesn't feel like work. Now, I have known I had some very close to ready tomatoes out here, and I haven't picked them because I wanted them to get fully ripe on the vine. I'm picking them now because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. It's hot. It's like 95 Fahrenheit, 30, probably 6 Celsius. So that's a great time to harvest tomatoes for the best flavor, is when their sugars are going to be nice and concentrated in the middle of the afternoon. Now, I like to let my tomatoes get quite ripe on the vine. And some of these really are, like these are nice and soft, but today I'm probably going to pick some that still have some green spots because it's supposed to rain extensively tonight and tomorrow. And being that these are already ripe-ish, they are more likely to split, especially since it's been so warm the last few days and it hasn't rained for a few days. So splitting is not necessarily caused by too much water, it's caused by inconsistent water. So these tomatoes were just pummeled by rainfall for 2 straight weeks, and then it stopped raining and it got over 90 degrees every day. So it's been really warm and dry the last few days, which makes for the perfect circumstances for the optimum flavor. However, raining after this, or even heavily water after this, you can guarantee these tomatoes would just split all to heck. So I love a great harvesting basket. I've got quite a few of them. I love harvesting aprons. My favorite thing to harvest tomatoes in is canning boxes, because ideally when you're harvesting tomatoes you want to lay them out in one layer instead of putting them on top of each other, which will help them if they do need to ripen further like this one does. It'll help them ripen further evenly, but it'll also just keep them from bruising one another. I'm going to fill these boxes up. This is a Hungarian oxheart variety. Look at this massive dude. This is an Abe Lincoln. They make big tomatoes. So this one I had labeled as Dr. Witchy. This may have been either a cross-pollinated seed or just mislabeled. Obviously that's not Dr. Witchy, but it doesn't mean it won't be good. This Dr. Witchy that's next to it looks like it's supposed to. Nice yellow slicer. I'm just going to go ahead and err on this side of caution and pull some of these that are still kind of green. Here's a prime example of why I don't like fasciated blossoms. Sometimes you get massive awesome tomatoes, and sometimes you get nonsense like this. And by the time this is right, this will be rotting, so you pretty much have to cut them apart. Oh well. This one is still kind of underripe. You can see it's sort of greenish. You can really see more of the color changing on the bottom. Once a tomato's blushed, it started producing the ethylene gas that causes it to ripen. And once it's blushed, you can cut it off and it'll still ripen and be very flavorful inside. Now, if I were to cut one off that's completely green, that hasn't begun producing those gases at all, it's really going to lack in flavor. That's why store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment, because oftentimes they're cut completely green, so they can be shipped across the world. And in cases like this where we're talking about tomatoes that will likely split due to the conditions, I just go ahead and pick them half ripe and let them ripen inside on the counter. The best flavor that you're going to get from tomatoes, and the reason why people talk about vine ripened tomatoes being so good, is because if you're able to let them ripen on the vine and you pick them in the heat of the day when they have been dry for a couple of days, you're going to get super concentrated, really good flavor. But it's not really like a hard and fast rule that every vine ripened tomato tastes better than every tomato that finished ripening in the house. Oh man, this stinks. So I noticed the top of this plant starting to wilt, and it had a lot of fruit on it, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna let it stay and ripen its fruit. And it has, but this is definitely a blighty tomato, like beyond the average. And while this fruit, like some of this, is probably edible, I think I need to get this plant out of here before it spreads this sickness. Like I said, you probably could eat this, wouldn't make you sick, but it's kind of gnarly, and I'm likely just going to throw it to the chickens. The main thing you want to do is get it out of your garden. With blight, you do not want to just throw this in the compost. So blight plants get burned. Ruthless maybe, but what are you going to do? See this one next to it, it's not a whole lot better. What variety was this? Interestingly, a lot of these are kind of riddled with bugs anyway. Insects actually usually go after sick plants more so than they do after healthy ones. So I pulled the unblemished green fruits off of that one. We'll make some fried green tomatoes with those. The tag just said ox heart on that variety, so I'm not sure what kind of ox heart that was. But both of those got sick. And this one is still got pretty good looking fruit and no spots, but this isn't enough for me to feel like this plant's a goner. It mostly looks healthy, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it. I'm going to put this over in the side by side. So I don't think that there's any real great benefit to harvesting eggplants in the middle of the day the way there is with tomatoes, like with wanting the sugars to concentrate. But I just saw these guys here, and this is the size I like them, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab them. So these are actually labeled as Cherokee Purple. These were some that I bought. A real Cherokee Purple should get quite a lot darker red than this, but I am gonna go ahead and pick them because they already have some splitting. Arkansas Travelers. Mortgage lifters. Note, little bug damage. I'm going to take it in anyway because I can cut away what's not good. But, note, puny plant. Obviously, keeping your plants tip-top healthy is sometimes completely out of your control. But a lot of what we think is required to fight pests can actually be handled if we fight disease. Again, not always within our control, but another really good argument for stewarding healthy soil and healthy ecosystems. This is a black brandy wine. Also should get quite a bit darker as it ripens on the counter. For people who are really new to growing tomatoes, if you see something like this and you're like, what is that? That's called cat facing. Also caused by those fasciated blossoms. Very common in heirlooms. These are called Golden Jubilee. And they look pretty good. A little splitting on top, but mostly okay. This is definitely a case of mislabeling from the shop I bought these from, because these are definitely Romas, but they say Golden Jubilee. That's fine. This one is a pineapple, which is one of my favorite tomatoes. It's very similar to Dr. Witchy's, but it's got a little more reddish streak to it. They have a really mild, nice flavor, good sized fruit. That might be the prettiest tomato I harvested today. Well, if you ignore that part. Which I will. See, I tell you guys, it's best to lay it in a flat row, and then I do stuff like this. I'll tell you what's best practice, but don't make it a law. So I've been taking those eggplants, kind of smallish eggplants, and cutting them in half, and then scoring the flesh, like cutting lines in it both ways so it's crisscrossed. And then rubbing them with some oil, and just like salt, paprika, so, you know, just some good seasonings, whatever you like. And then I've seared it face down in a pan and flipped it over and put it in a hot oven for, I don't know, like less than probably 8 minutes or so. It's really, really good. So like that's what I had for lunch today. I made a hamburger patty and then that eggplant, and that was lunch. All right. Well, this is officially the season we're in, I guess. I'll take it. Too bad you don't like tomatoes, Jackson. You're missing out. Alright, Maya has egg yolks, has cream and milk. You excited?
I'll be more excited about eating it.
So we've been making homemade ice cream for the family, which is really fun to be able to do when you've got lots of heavy cream. And I'm still kind of working out some different recipes and figuring out what we like. But so far, One thing we really like to do is just make like a standard vanilla custard with egg yolks and cream, because the majority of the ingredients can be farm sourced, which is what we're aiming at. And then we have canned like strawberry sauces that I made when strawberries were in season. We have canned, still have some left from last year, like roasted peach honey sauce. And so being able to serve those with the ice cream is nice. We're getting through them to make space for what I'll make when the peaches come back in season this year.
Which is like, I think the peak of the season right now.
Yeah, I know.
4th of
I need to get some peaches and get to going on it. I didn't, because we still had quite a few things left from last year, but we're getting through them now.
Oh, strawberries though.
Yeah. We'll think fondly of them until they come back around next year. Well, we have plans for dinner this evening. We're making this base for the ice cream now to be able to take it over there with the ice cream churns and run it while we eat dinner. Back to our somewhat lazy day. I feel like in terms of lazy days, our days aren't nearly as lazy as sometimes we would like them to be, I think. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. If you've got tomatoes and rain coming, get them picked. And hopefully they will be as lovely and enjoyable as I'm sure these will be.
If you like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I know many of you do. This is our first big tomato harvest of the season. Thank you guys. I bless you. Until next time.